What's up YouTube? My name is Cosplay Val and I am making this video as the first video on my channel because I got a good amount of responses on my Instagram asking if people would be interested in seeing me create a channel and talk about cosplay and different reviews on wigs and dresses and stuff. But the most video that was requested was what is it like doing a Disney audition? So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So back in August, me and my friend Taylor went to New York City to audition for the Disney Cruise Line. I didn't really know what to expect about it, but she's obsessed with Disney as much as I am. I mean, I love Disney. Anyway, so we decided to go to these auditions in New York. We thought it'd be super fun just to try it out and see what happens. Both of our dreams are to be Disney princesses. So I was just going to see if I was good enough to get in and make it at least to the final round, which I did. So that's why I'm making this video, because I have the experience of all the different stages of the audition process. So let's get to it. So when we finally get there, we were late. We were about 15-20 minutes late past the start time. So we were really nervous and we were running through New York trying to get there on time, and we were so worried that they weren't going to let us get in. But we got in there and there was about 130 people, and they still let us sign up, so we signed our names. So we were in the very last group of people. So there were about 3 or 4 groups total that were going and going through, and me and my friend Taylor were just sitting around kind of talking to people, getting to know. A lot of them had dance backgrounds, so me and her, I came in a romper. She had, you know, a romper on, I think, as well, but everyone else was in dance clothes. They were in dance shoes on. I was in sandals. So we were just looking around like, oh my gosh, we are so unprepared for this audition. Because I mean, I'm not a dancer and she wasn't either, so I was really worried about that. And I was like thinking in my head, I'm not even gonna make it past the first round because everyone's in dance clothes and I'm not. So but finally our group gets called and I get to have the same group as my friend, and they teach us a dance. We get in there, and we all have numbers on. First off, they give you a number so that the judges can tell you or can identify you. So there's this dance instructor, and then there's the casting director lady, and then there's 2 other people in there, and they're all sitting at a table. They were very friendly, but it was definitely really stressful because I am not a dancer and I don't know how to dance, and I can't follow dance moves like that. So I was already thinking in my head, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna fail at this. But so then, like, usually at an audition, prepare to have to dance, but the most important thing to remember is that it's not more about you getting the moves, it's how much effort you're putting into it, and it's your facial expressions and smiling and just looking like you're having a good time. So I just want to put that out there, is that that's what I tried to do to get past the first round. Is I just smiled and I was trying to be really energetic and happy. So they teach us this dance, and it's kind of lengthy. I mean, it's a lot of steps to remember, and they're not relatively hard, but when you're stressed out, it's kind of hard to remember them off the top of your head, especially when you're in a room full of professional dancers and you're wearing a romper. But I tried to do my best, and first they made us do it as a whole, and they did it a couple times, and they did it with music, and then they split us into groups of, I think, like 4 or 5, and so they could look at us more individually. And so we did that, and at the very end we had to wait and watch all the people go. So it's not only the judges that are watching you, it's everyone in the room who are dancers who are also watching you. So that made me even more nervous because I was like, I don't even know how to dance. But anyway, so after that we all got into a group and the judges were going over everything, and they started calling out numbers. So I was in a group of probably about 40 or 50 people. It was the smallest group of the day because we were the last group. So we're all standing there, they're calling out numbers, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get called. And I'm looking at my friend, and she's, you know, she's just looking at me, and they call my number, and I'm like, and I'm just sitting there like, is this really happening? And my friend Taylor, she's crazy. So she's just freaking out. She's like, oh my God. She's like grabbing onto me like, oh my God, this is so great. Like, she's so excited for me. And I'm just sitting there like in shock. Like, I did not think I was even gonna make it past the first round. And I also felt bad because she didn't make it past the first round. But I was like, the only reason I'm making it, I feel like it's not because of my dance talent, but it might be because of my face. And my friend always tells me she worked in Disney World before as a cast member in the Bibbidi Boppity Boutique. Oh, it's really hard to say. So, you know, she's always like, oh my God, they want to cast you as Belle, or, you know, whatever, because, you know, I have big eyes and I don't know. So I was like, I guess it's the only reason that they're choosing me is because of my face, because it's definitely not my dance moves at all, because I was awful, guys. I was so bad. So after that, we all went outside of the room, and they called everybody from all four, whatever of the groups that made it past the first round. They called them all into the room. So there was probably about 50 of us left out of like the 150 that were there, maybe less, I'm not sure. But all these people were very talented, and they made us all get into a line, and we had to get our height measured with a laser, and they collected headshots and resumes. Now, I didn't have a resume or a headshot because, like I said, I was very unprepared for this audition. I would recommend, if you're going to a Disney audition, you should bring a headshot and a resume. I guess a theater resume if that's what you do, or just a regular resume, just telling basic information about yourself. So since I didn't have either of those things, they had a paper that I had to fill out, and it was just my contact information and everything like that, and my height and my weight. I'm not sure. It was just like basic information. If you have any tattoos, you have to put that on there and where they are. So they took all of our height, and after that, we all got all sat down, and they said, okay, here's the next part of the audition. And the next part of the audition was that we had to act like a mascot. So we had to do certain actions that they asked us to do, and we had to act them out as best as we could, as exaggerated as we could, with great facial expressions. And so this was my favorite part of the audition because I like to act. I'm an actor, or actress actually. I do that in my cosplay. I always act like the characters I'm cosplaying. I'm also a character entertainer part-time, so I go do birthday parties and stuff like that. So I love to act. And so we had to pretend we were a mascot. We had to pick our mascot in our head. So, you know, I chose Minnie Mouse, and other people chose Goofy or Woody from Toy Story, or anything that they wanted to choose, you got to choose. So I had to quickly come up in my head who I wanted to be and be that person. So basically what they said, we had to spot our kid. So we had to spot our kid really exaggerated and reel them in to us, and go up to them or get them to come to us or whatever. And then we had to tell a story. So we had to come up with just our movements, can't talk at all. So just through our movements, we had to tell them a story. So I told them a story about how I was eating too much and I got really sick, but I said, oh well, I'm just gonna keep eating, and my stomach kept hurting, but I just kept eating. And that was kind of my story. It was my simple thing that just came to my head, because you didn't have a lot of time to think it up. And then after that, after you're done telling your story, you have to gather everyone in for a picture. So you do whatever you have to do, whatever your character would do, to gather everyone together and make them all pose in the right direction. And then, like, you know, you would be like, oh, we're gonna take a picture or something like that. And then they say strike a pose, and you have to strike a big pose or something like that. And so that was the second part of the audition. Then that, we all did it as a group, and then we all did it in threes, or three or fours. So then everyone in the class had to watch you do this. So that was also very nerve-wracking. Just prepare to be watched the entire time. by multiple people that may or may not judge you. They probably judged me because I was wearing a romper. But anyway, so after that, we all kind of sat around and waited. They gathered about 10 people, and they basically told them, you know, they didn't make it past that part, so they left. And then after that, I thought we were done with the dancing, but I guess we weren't, because the third part of the audition was to do the dance again. But this time it was recorded. They gathered us all up and they made us, you know, go on the sides of the room and not be seen, so that like the camera couldn't see us. And they made us go in groups of 3 diagonally. They made us go in groups of 3 at a diagonal, and each person had to say their name, and then we all had to do the dance again. We briefly renewed. So then we had to each say our name, and then we had to do the dance again in camera that was getting sent to California, or I think Florida, I'm not sure, but the headquarters, you know, that's where they did all the decisions. So we briefly went over the dance again, but obviously that didn't help me because I'm terrible at dancing. So I went up there, I was super nervous. I tried to smile and be whatever, but I was so nervous because I didn't know the dance. I did awful again, I did awful. So then after that, after everyone went and they recorded everyone on the iPad, we went up, or we took headshots. First we had to fill out a audition form, I think it was, or I think that's what it was. Some sort of form we had to fill out. And after that, we all lined up to get our headshots. So they took, you know, the front of your face and the side of your face, and then you were done. And then you had to wait for a phone call to see if you got picked. And for this one, the Disney Cruise Line, it was 2 months of training in Toronto, and then you would be on a ship until about November time frame. So that really wasn't something that I was able to do, but I would have to say that overall the Disney audition was a lot of fun. My friend was freaking out, waiting outside the entire time. She was like, oh my god, you're gonna be Belle, you know, whatever. So, but anyway, it was really, really exciting, and I totally recommend anybody trying out. And even if you don't make it, I mean, it was just a great experience, and I'm sure, like, just keep going and trying and pursue your dreams, because it's just a lot of fun. And even if you don't make it, it's okay, because then you can always just try again. Especially being in New York was a lot of fun. Me and my friend Taylor, I went to the Disney store twice that day afterwards, and it was just a magical experience. So I hope that helped you guys out. Comment below if you have any questions, anything that I might have missed in this video. I might be able to answer your questions, and give this video a thumbs up. I'll put my Instagram information in the bio, and let me know if there's anything that you guys want to see from me. I know people on my Instagram already said that they wanted some reviews of dresses and wigs that I have purchased from different people, so I'm definitely going to do that, especially since I'm getting a brand new Belle wig soon for Christmas, and I'm very excited about it, so I will definitely do an unboxing of that. So have a great day and a magical day. Bye!